Hello everyone, welcome to Time Chat. I'm your host, Dr. Ivan Khan. As many of you know, I've spent the past 17 years working at Khan's Tutorial, a tutoring and mentorship academy with 10 locations serving New York's outer boroughs. Since 1994, our family-owned company had the chance to work with over 15,000 low-income youth in New York City to provide tutoring and mentorship at extremely low costs. Despite the success that our students and staff were able to enjoy academically, our team at Khan's always noticed many disparities that low-income families faced. These barriers would pop up during college admissions time for our high school students or when college students, graduates even, started entering the job market. Additionally, we noticed a lack of support and opportunities for professional development for young men and women from the minority communities especially. As time went on, I'd witnessed our extremely competitive high school graduates get refused from top-notch universities due to countless external factors that were outside of their control, whether it was undocumented status or inability to pay the very high tuition fees that are present in the United States today. In addition to these obstacles, oftentimes I'd be saddened to see our classrooms predominantly filled with boys, while their sisters weren't offered tutoring by their own families due to various cultural reasons. Young women are outnumbering young men in most graduate and professional schools in the U.S. today, and I wanted to ensure that trend continues across all socioeconomic levels and new immigrant communities as well. The final area that I wanted to be sure that we focus on at Khan Foundation was the career readiness of today's college graduates. With over 15,000 Khan Tutorial alum, the majority of them in the workforce, we wanted to create a community of established professionals that are willing to help those after them achieve the same career and life success or more. As a first-time father to a baby girl and then now to her younger brother, it became personally clearer than ever before that it was time for our team to finally create more opportunities through Khan Foundation. In 2013, we founded Khan Foundation, a 501c3 not-for-profit, to decrease disparities in education and increase leadership opportunities that many low-income students face. All of Khan Foundation's programs are free for students, and our free college access program, the CAP, worked to help high-achieving, underprivileged students from the course of 8 months to effectively find, apply to, and attend college that are best suited to them, as well as assisting them with securing financial aid and scholarships. Through targeted guidance and mentorship during our workshops, Khan Foundation's instructors and coordinators provide college admissions preparation, all for free, as well as application and scholarship assistance over the entire college admissions process. At Khan Foundation, we believe that people should have the opportunity to apply to college, regardless of their personal backgrounds or financial status. Today, we'll be speaking with one of our student ambassadors, Joseph Robertson. He was one of our scholars from last year's program, and after going through the college admissions process, like many of you will be at home, he's attending Buffalo State University, and he's back today to mentor you folks at home about the college transition process and what it's been like for him. Thank you so much for joining us, Joseph, on Time Chat.
Thank you.
How's it been?
I mean, it's good. It's good to be back. Like I really miss you guys. You guys are like, you're my family. So it's a really welcoming experience to come back.
So during my introductions, I had a chance to tell a little bit about your story, the fact that you attend Buffalo State University now. Congratulations on reaching your second semester. And before we get to that, I want to hear a little bit more about your childhood. Tell us about your childhood and where you grew up.
I mean, for me, I didn't grow up in the best part. I grew up in the local area, South Jamaica, Queens. And for me, growing up was a challenge. I felt like my environment would just kind of take away from my growth as a person, as an individual, because I was faced with scenarios and settings each and every day that people of our kind are usually supposed to like succeed from. So for me, it was like there was really no way out because everything around me, my environment was just detrimental to who I was.
So Southside Jamaica, Queens, it's a very tough area, as a lot of folks at home can put together.
Yeah.
We have a lot of South Asians living in other parts of Jamaica. Tell us about, give us an example of what it was like in before you started junior high school. I know, it was tough to even get permission to go play outside because of the violence sometimes. Tell us a little bit about that.
For me, it was really hard because my mother, I was the oldest in my family. My mother, I was her first child. So for her, with the way she grew up, usually she could just go outside and be okay. But now, around my time, it was really shootings and just what was outside. She just didn't want me around that. So for me, I felt like, why? I would always question why. Why can't I just go outside and play? Why can't I be a child? Now realizing that my environment wasn't suited for me. That we created such a detrimental place that we weren't able to really become who we were.
Got it.
So.
And you mentioned some of because you couldn't go outside, you channeled a lot of your energy into books and some of the other hobbies. Tell us about that love for learning that you had from a young age.
For me, like, I liked playing sports. Like, I always looked to my grandfather, like, cause he played everything.
Okay.
So I couldn't really get that experience, cause I couldn't really go outside. But I fell in love with education. I fell in love with books.
Okay.
So for me, it's like, if I couldn't live in that world, why not just read about it?
All right.
So I like find myself reading a lot, and within like schools, like when we had to like read class books, I would always read ahead of everybody, cause I wanted to know the end. And I realizing that pursued my knowledge, pursued my love for obtaining knowledge, pursued my love for learning.
So you had to channel a lot of that extra energy that you had into the world of books, and you got a chance to attend a fantastic school at Excelsior Prep. It's the old Springfield Gardens High School campus. Once upon a time, a very dangerous campus. And now, what was life like at Excelsior Prep in high school?
Excelsior Preparatory, I loved it.
Yeah.
For me, at first, as being a freshman, sophomore, I didn't take it. I didn't see the wealth inside of being inside those hallways until after I left the building. But most of the staff were people who attended Springfield. So for them, they wanted to change it. And by like having those people come back to give back to the community, it showed me that people still care. People really do care. It's just the fact that we have to open our eyes and open our ears and just see that. And through Excelsior Preparatory, I was a part of several programs, Mentoring for Real, Gatewin, and since because of Excelsior Preparatory, I got introduced to the Khan Foundation, and that really just changed my life.
So tell us a little bit about Khan Foundation. You're part of Khan Foundation's first group of cohort students. There's a short video there we're going to go to in a few minutes. Mm-hmm. But how did you find out about Khan Foundation, and what was your first impression from the early few weeks? Mm-hmm.
The funny part about Khan Foundation, like it was appointed to me by my gateway coordinator, Miss Morris.
Okay.
And for me, it was like, she offered me so many programs before, and I'm like, it's just another one I'm probably just gonna look at. Might look at the application, might do it, might not. And then it's about 2 hours before the deadline. I'm like, yo, I was in the middle of McDonald's. So I'm like, my junior. It's funny because like going into like my senior, my junior, I felt like I was gonna drop out. And then for me, it was like, I want to make it. I want to become something. And like after I sent in the application 2 hours before the deadline, I finally got accepted. And like ever since that day, everything just changed for me. Since the first day I walked into the building, since the first day I remember seeing everybody, seeing all the faces coming up with my grandfather, and it was just different for me. It was a different environment that I wasn't accustomed to. And then just hearing about you, it's an amazing to be around a different community. For me, I always wanted diversity, and I couldn't really get that within my community. And to be around so many different kinds of students, it was cool. It was a blessing.
Your group was really special. You had about 2 or 3 students, fellow classmates from Excelsior Prep who joined you. And this was, like you just mentioned, one of your first times interacting with students from different cultures, from South Asian cultures, from countries like Bangladesh and India, and you're around students from Korea and Hispanics and African Americans. What was that like, and for you and your classmates at Excelsior?
For me,
at Khan Foundation?
Like it told me a lot about the South Asian community. Like for me, like I never realized how much of a struggle you guys also. For me, I love culture. I love being diverse, but I actually got to hear about what you guys have to go through about coming like as an immigrant with like new families, and it's like you don't really think about that. For the most part, when you think about a struggle, you think about yourself, and you don't really hear about other cultures or just listen to other stereotypical thoughts about other people until you're around them. And for me, I was able to grow into a more person who could see within depth within inside of a person for who they really are, not about the kind of stereotypical personas they're given.
And I'm so happy you brought that up, and it's such a mature viewpoint, because one of my main goals in having you on the show today was for the South Asian community watching at home to see that students and young folks attending college from your community are a lot more than what they may just see on the news. Mm-hmm. And on that note, if it's all right, we're going to turn to the video now. I know we have a 5-minute video about the College Access Program. Mm-hmm. You've seen the video a few times. You're a big star in it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the experience that day of making the video, and we'll click cue that.
I mean, with that day, for me, it was like, when I first found out, I'm like, I would love to do it. Like, for me, it's like, I love talking about my experience because I feel like it's a life for others. But then with that day, like, I just seen the stories of other people. Like, I was like, a quick briefing of, like, everybody was so nervous. And for me, I was nervous, but it was like, once I was in front of that camera, it felt so natural. It felt like I belonged to, I felt like I had, like, a meaning. It gave me a meaning. And during the experience, I remember I talked a lot about, like, me not being able to afford college. And for me, like, it was just like, a big thing for me. Because first thing I thought about was my mother when I wanted to attend college. I'm like, I can't put her through that. I can't see myself putting my family as a burden for something I want to become, something I want to do. So it's like kind of just it just gave me that light that it's okay, that there's a way for us to help you, there's a way for you to make it. And with that interview, just to share my experiences, just to share how I felt about the whole college process, it was a blessing. It was cool.
I can't wait for our viewers at home to view it now. So let's cue the video, the Khan Foundation's College Access Program 2014-2015.
My name is Philip Kim, and I'm a senior at Brooklyn Tech.
My name is Tandra Islam, and I'm a senior in Bronze Science.
My name is Melissa Valdez. I am a senior in high school for violin and dance.
My name is Mireya Palomeque, and I go to the Young Women's Leadership School of Astoria, and I'm a junior.
My name is Sadia. I'm a junior at the Young Women's Leadership School of Astoria.
My name is Robertson. I'm from Excelsior Preparatory High School, and I'm a senior.
My name is Melissa Johnson, and I'm Program Director at the Khan Foundation. This is my first year with the Khan Foundation and working with our College Access Program. In the College Access Program, we work with low-income and undocumented students, and we help get them into college with scholarship.
At UPenn, I want to study criminology. None of my parents went to colleges in U.S., so I had to personally be proactive in asking other adults with experience questions and how to apply for financial aid or scholarships, or even just apply to college itself.
I want to go to Cornell University because it has a major that combines science as well as community advancement, and I think that's really important because when you're trying to be a doctor, some people just get caught up with the money and the studies and they kind of forget the purpose of it. I believe that it's very important to keep in mind what the point of it is to become a doctor, and the main point is to help people and, make sure they're good and healthy. One of the challenges that I faced was just being uninformed because my parents didn't know about the public education system in New York. One of the other challenges that came up is just affording prep for standardized tests and things that are required of you. And I think what Khan's Foundation does is it really educates you and also gives you the prep for free. I got to talk to admissions officers directly and knowing if that school was the right fit for me. I learned that NYU had a school where you could create your own major, and I think that's really something new and different that I wouldn't have found out if it wasn't for this program.
I want to go to Wheaton College because they are very community oriented, also because they provide their students with academic and financial support. Well, I want to study like sociology and the social sciences, like including political science, because I'm into politics and government, and taking my sociology class, I was able to learn about how society develops and its social construct. I joined Khan Foundation not only because of their helpful tools that they provide, but because of the space that they are able to give undocumented and low-income students.
For college, I really want to go to either Princeton or the Florida Institute of Technology because I'm really interested, and I know both of these schools have really good programs for marine biology. I joined the Khan Foundation Access Program because my friends recommended me, and I think it's really important to have further knowledge about college because it's such a big part of my future, so I think it's really important for me to get a head start in junior year.
I would love to go to NYU Tisch School of the Arts because I really like drawing and I like this diversity in school, and I've always wanted to go to the school in the city. I joined KF because I wanted to get a better understanding of the college process because my school doesn't really, they give you more of the information when you're actually a senior, but I wanted to get ahead of all of that stuff, so I joined KF to be ahead of the game.
The college I want to go to is St. John's. The reason is because of that is just, like it's closer to home. I'm gonna take care of my sisters and my family. I want to be really local, so I can have a hand in growing up with my sisters. And it was also my mother's dream to go to St. John's, and because she had to drop out of high school, she wasn't able to live that dream. So by me going to St. John's, it's like I'm living, like she's able to live her dream through me. What I want to study is actuarial science. I'm interested in that because nobody's really in that field. Like it's really, I feel like if I could break that kind of barrier from where I'm from, like it would really like, wow, he's an actuarial science. Like some people don't even know what that is. To me, like that's a really prestigious event because like you have to pass several exams, and like by you passing an exam, your name gets put on the list. So that'd be really special and really highlight of my life. To me, college education is really like the key to me because the fact that and a high school level of education to this kind of day and age, like 10 years from now, I don't think it's gonna really have any kind of worth or value because I have a hunger for knowledge. So the fact that me going to like college is really a dream. Just the fact that me graduating from where I'm from is really a dream. So the fact that I can say I can go to college and become something and really have the ability just to learn is just really something I just love to do.
As a woman of color from a low-income community in Brooklyn, New York, the students in the Khan Foundation program inspired me, and their stories really resonated with me.
And I feel like I'm part of a community, I'm part of a family, I'm part of a place where I can grow. I can build a stable foundation and just live and just uplift and just become something.
So Joseph, you just finished the video. You did outstanding. Great job. You really, stole that ending. So we're dying to know, did you get into St. John's that was your dream growing up? Did you get in?
The funny part, I actually honestly did. That was my first acceptance. So getting into St. John's, like at first was like, oh my God, I'm in college. But then it's like another thing Khan Foundation told me was responsibility and the fact that sometimes what you think you might want is not what you really need. And for me, getting into St. John's, the main reason why I wanted to become a part of St. John's University campus was because of my family.
Okay.
For me, I'll still be around the area, I'll still be at home, and I'll still be able to be there for them. But then I realized that by me trying to lift up my family, I sometimes find myself lost. That the motivation I looked for, the motivation I wanted wasn't there because I wasn't living for myself. So ultimately, I decided to attend Buffalo State campus, Buffalo State University.
I'm so glad to hear that you made such a well thought out decision. We're going to take a little break for a commercial break. You've been watching Time Chat. I'm your host, Dr. Ivan Khan, joined by Khan Foundation student scholar Joseph Robertson. We'll be right back in a few seconds. We're back. You're watching Time Chat. I'm joined by Khan Foundation scholar Joseph Robertson. Joseph, before we queued for a short break, you're mentioning, and we just got a chance to see your video, and you mentioned how it's such a dream growing up for you to attend St. John's. Yeah. And that was one of the colleges that your mom wanted to attend, and that was your first acceptance. Yeah. You achieved your dream, your childhood dream of getting into your dream college. But then a lot of other factors started coming in, and you realized that going to Buffalo State would be better for you. Yeah. Tell us about that transition to Buffalo State.
I mean, getting to Buffalo State, like, I had a lot of doubts. Like, for me, it was like, it was a hard adjustment for being away from my family and from me, like just telling everybody, oh, I'm going to St. John's, oh, I'm doing this for my mother. And it's like, I kind of felt like I let everybody down. So when I got into the campus, I felt lost. And for me, it's like about, like, the first semester, it was about finding who I was, finding that motivation to live for myself, finding motivation to be a life for others again. So towards the end of it was a difficult adjustment, getting to like the classes, realizing that everybody I had back in the city wasn't really there for me. So it was like finding a new set of mentors, finding a new set of bigger brothers or bigger sisters that I could just look up to and just have around me as like a family again, to find that family setting, because that's what drives me. And then
how long did it take for you to find your support system there? When I was in college, my freshman year, I remember even though I was making new friends, I was missing some of the home cooked meals. I was missing some of the support that I took for granted from my parents that during high school. They were so supportive around my education, and now I was away from them. I didn't realize how good I had it. So how long did it take for you to find some of your new support system up in Buffalo State?
It took me to basically like almost the end of the semester, like a couple weeks before finals week.
Okay.
And then for me, I felt like it was too late. But then after speaking to one of my bigger brothers, Zeke Gibson, like he showed me such a light. Like he just like I met him at my friend's birthday party.
Okay.
And for me, it was like I was used to that kind of love and that kind of attention, but it was the first time I ever met him. For me, I just shed a light. Like I honestly need help. I feel lost in this campus that is so big that I feel like I'm going to be lost within inside of it, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it. And he told me like I got you. Like he just said, right now you're my little brother. I see you as a little brother. I see you as somebody I know that this is my job, because he's also like I'm a part of EOP, and for him he was also EOP too. He told me he was top 10% of his class. For him getting onto campus, it was a difficult adjustment. Also, that he wasn't a perfect child. Like even though he wanted to become, like he was from down south. For him, like he lived in the same circumstance. For me, I didn't have my father around. For him, it was the same exact thing. And what he preached to me was that there's never a sign of doubt. There's never no such thing as you can't do it. You can't become this. You always have to have that determination, that drive.
Well, you're really lucky to have found not only Zeke up in Buffalo State as far as your support system, but to his networks too, and some of the mentorship that you're getting from all of them. We understand that you ended up joining a poetry competition, and you guys were half a point away from taking the championship. Tell us about that extracurricular activity and your love for poetry now, and how involved you are in the Buffalo State University campus.
Yeah, like I said, like for me, like I told Zeke, like Zeke also he does poetry on the side too. Like he does like a couple spoken word. And for me, like I told him about it. I wrote a couple pieces and I said it to him like, why don't you put that somewhere? Why don't you say that somewhere? And I'm like, who do I speak to? And then he introduced me to the organization on campus called the Ink Club, and it's like it was having a collaboration, an open mic. It was originally for Valentine's Day called Love Doesn't Cost a Thing. And then it was a collaboration with the Pan-African on campus and also the Ink Club. And for me, I performed the piece. That was my first ever written piece I ever performed called DOA for Dead or Alive. And then ever since I performed that, it's like I was accepted. I felt ever since I just shed the light into others that people seen a seed within me, they seen a light within me. And then ever since then, it brought me to a family. So not only did I become a part of the organization, but I'm actually running it. I'm the co-community service chair, actually running it on the eve of the program. So it's really cool to just sponsor that also. But with the competition, it was an intercollegiate poetry slam that included Rochester Institute of Technology, Damon, I believe, Buffalo University, and a couple other schools, and Fredonia too. So it was like, for me, it was a big crowd, over 500 people we performed in front of, and for me, it was like my first real, other than open mics on campus, like my first it's my first poetry slam ever, and I'm like, I'm here. I'm representing Buffalo State College, not just and I'm a freshman, so for me, it's like I was so nervous. I'm like, this is such a wonderful opportunity. But
so young little freshman representing the entire campus and his first time out there. That's amazing. And I'd be really scared, but I'm really, really proud to hear how much you nailed that performance. We only have a few minutes left, so I'm going to ask you just one or two more questions. You had an award from President Obama.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, and what do you look forward to, after you're getting all these achievements? What are some of your next goals?
I mean, for me, in order for me to get the award, I was a part of the Gateway program, but then even deep into that was an exclusive program called Pre-Med Scholars.
Okay.
So for me, it's like within the program, I'm meeting, have different college tours, meeting with different people, representatives from other colleges. And for me, I'm not realizing like, for me, it's just, okay, I get to talk to this person about financial aid, I get to do this. Not realizing how I'm looked, how I'm also playing a bigger role within society, a bigger role within the organization that I wasn't able to see. And upon concluding the program, we had like a final meeting where like all the people a part of the program would come and meet up in the city at the headquarters for the Pre-Med Scholars, the Gateway Institution program. And in the bag was like a Kindle, the medal, a cup, also like a cup from the organization, and then there was a folder. And then I'm like, what is this?
What was in the folder?
The folder, I opened it up, and it's a Academic of Excellence Achievement Award from Barack Obama himself. And I was like, wow, like it was just, I'm like, how is this possible? Like,
see that.
To see his signature, it was just,
And that has your name on that same piece of
Has
paper,
my
that
name on
same
it.
degree and the
Yeah.
diploma certificate. One of the main goals I had in inviting you to our show today was for our audience to look past what they see in the media. A lot of the time when they depict people from my community, I'm a Bangladeshi New Yorker, you hear about some of the awful things that are happening in the world. A lot of times when the media portrays your community, they only speak about it in certain ways, in certain contexts. What would you like to tell our South Asian viewers at home, now that you're an honorary Bangladeshi, you're a Khan Foundation scholar, and we're all family, what would you like to remind our viewers at home that are new families, young families, new immigrants, and a lot of for many of us that are viewing at home, it's their first time having an in-depth idea of someone's life from your community.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to speak to them myself.
Please.
But like, we are all the same. Like, I feel like even though we come from different backgrounds, even though we have different complexions of our skin, that just shows us how we separate each other based on bounds of personal qualities. Like, we need to look deeper within that. We need to look within the people of who are as a community, that we are all one. Even though we are living under different circumstances, that we all have similar things that are trying to just defer us as a people. And I feel like that limits our mind, and that limits our way of thinking, that because of a stereotypical way of, oh, he's South Asian, or he's a terrorist, or he's African American, he's a thug, or he's a... No. That we must break these kind of thoughts, that we must become each other's brother, each other's sisters, each other. Like, we must play that role as a whole, because we are on this planet not just living one as like an individual, but as a community. So I feel like by thinking those kind of terms and ways, that we are all limiting ourselves. So I feel like we must break from that and just show academic excellence, show each other encouragement, build each other up, and just take advantage of that. If like just like Khan Foundation, like it brought me together to a closer community like South Asians. Like I was never so heavily involved. I didn't really know that much about you guys, and it's like to be a part of your organization, to be a part of your family, to be an honorary member is like, it's cool. Like it's something that you really cherish, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about cultural empowerment and about success as a whole, as a people.
Joseph, thank you. I don't know anyone out there who could have said it better than you.
Yeah.
So I really, really look forward to having you back on our show and hearing how second year goes and third year goes, and hopefully we'll have some of your other scholars that are joining after you. And wish you the best of luck in finishing the semester strong.
Thank you.
You just had a chance to hear from Khan Foundation scholar Joseph Robertson. Many viewers at home will either be attending college in the next few years or have children that are college-aged. No matter what ethnic background or community that you're from, it's fair to say that all students attending college go through an adjustment period. I remember my own transition to the Sophie Davis Medical Program. Though I was very lucky to have 2 educators as parents, I'd miss home-cooked meals and the general support from family members that I took for granted during high school. For college-bound students, 2016 also marks the first year that the SAT exam has changed. Though Joseph's graduating class had to take the older version of 2400, the new SAT is only out of 1600. The reading comprehension sections are much longer, and the writing section has become optional. With the popularity of the ACT, or American College Test, gaining steam, the College Board decided to make the cost of taking the SAT free for all New York City 11th graders starting next year. Ultimately, though the viewership of Time Television is mainly South Asian Bangladeshi homes, I wanted to showcase the unity and collaborative nature of the South Asian community with our brothers and sisters from all ethnic minority backgrounds. Joseph's experience through Excelsior Prep, Khan Foundation, and Buffalo State University is all a testament to the power of collaboration to achieve youth empowerment. Please keep this amazing potential in mind when joining forces with your neighbors, your colleagues, and your friends of all backgrounds. That's all for today's show. Thank you for your viewership. We look forward to seeing you next week on Time Chat. Until then, I'm your host, Dr. Yvonne Khan, and always remember to pay it forward.